I got my job, and within four months, I finished my probation period, as you know, in HR. And in the fourth month, I was in the business, and the manager told me. So I call him not right now the manager, but after 2 minutes, I would label him the leader.
Okay.
So he called me with a couple of colleagues in the business, and he said, Camille, I have 2 words to talk to you about. I said, okay, no problem. I would go to your office. Then he started telling me like some introduction, and I thought like something happening right now. What's going on? And he said, as you know, the business is going through some financial difficulties, and the senior management decided to do some like savings in the business, and so they have to do something in the company, like a kind of restructuring in the business. And I said, well, I'm smelling a termination notice here. So this is what I told him.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, there are some bad news for you. And really, that time, I wrote this in the introduction of my book, actually. It's a couple of stories about this. So he handed me a notice, a kind of letter, and I read it. It was like the subject line, termination letter. And I said, oh my God, it's a termination letter for me after 4 months, and I was doing a great job with my colleagues. So what happened? So I read it and I said, well, okay, that's fine. So there's nothing to do at this time. And he said, okay, don't be in a rush. So I was angry. I was angry because it's like I'm working very well. So why all of this? It's 4 months after like starting the job. And he said, okay, calm down. He gave me another letter. And that time I realized, Anna, the big moment, it was the big moment for me. Do you know what happened?
What happened?
So the letter he gave me that time, it was his resignation letter.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was really shocked. So I was reading the letter. It's a kind of, oh my God, it's a resignation. So I read the letter and I looked at him and I said, what's happened? You resigned from your job. You are the manager. And he said, yeah, Camille, I can't do this. So I can enforce this or accept it. So this is the only way I will react to the situation. And I said, man, like you have, let's say, a good salary, you are a manager. It was a very casual conversation, like in
Mm-hmm.
his office. So we were talking very casually. It wasn't like a formal like meeting with the manager. He was very kind. And then he said, okay, don't be in a rush again. I would give you the third letter. And I said, really? A third letter? What is it about? So he gave me the third letter, and it was a kind of apology from the CEO and the business and the senior management about what's happened. So in a nutshell, what happened? Like they wanted to do a kind of restructuring the business. So the only way to do it, layoffs and like terminating the staff in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he was very adamant, it will not happen under his management, they reconsidered their decisions and they apologized to the whole team members, including the manager, about this. So he sacrificed his position actually that time to
Right.
save us as like his the staff members. So the next day, I'm sorry, I'm too long here on this
No,
point.
no, it's interesting. So please tell us.
Yeah, sure. So the next day, I met him in the office in the morning, and we were having some coffee. And he said, I was asking him actually, why did you do that for us? Why did you do it? Because I was really inspired by what he done. And he said, Camille, the main difference between a manager and a leader is that you have to go first for your people. It's like you have to sacrifice yourself for your staff. And if I don't do this, I'm not entitled to be a leader in this company.